Brady, this week I drove up to Ohio, and I was listening to your music all trip, and I was just like mesmerized, man. I mean, high quality, beautiful stuff, powerful. It's no surprise that you're having the success you're having, man.
Yeah, it's I appreciate that. It means the world, honestly. You know, it's kind of strange thinking about how things have progressed with just me and my brothers. We just grew up like playing songs in our basement and like, you know, cover songs mostly when we were getting started. And now it's like, you know, we're doing a freaking podcast and, you know, playing shows across the country. It's
yeah, totally. And you know what I was thinking? You know, Ohio, Michigan, all those parts. You guys are from the Midwest, and I was thinking this makes sense. I feel like you guys work your ass off, and I was like, no one works harder than Midwest people, right?
It's true. There is definitely a hardworking, you know, it's like the cliche into people that we grew up around. You know, I feel like it's kind of a toxic thing sometimes. Like so you get into the groove of like, I can't relax unless I've done something, you know, and that kind of seeps into our career as musicians, which is a good thing in a way, you know, because we've been on the road, honestly, been playing shows since I was maybe 16 in high school, just like not touring in high school, but we had been playing shows around Detroit for a long time. And then, you know, we just like to grind. We like to get out there and get working and meet people and engage with them in person, you know.
It's almost like if you're not grinding, you don't feel like you're doing it right?
Yeah. I mean, I've had this conversation probably 100 times over with people, and like everyone's like, hey, you just need to give yourself some, you know, time to relax and feel, you know, like you're accomplishing something. And I definitely do, but I think there's still that Midwest sort of get up and get it done sort of thing, you know, and
roll up your sleeves.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's helped us in a lot of ways. You know, we definitely like to just get it done and feel accomplished with what we're doing. And
especially when it comes to touring, it's such a, and you've talked about this in several of your songs, it's such an like red tape. Right? By the way, great song written with Matty Diaz. I mean, one of many, one of my faves. But I'm glad we're talking about it because the abnormalcy of being a national touring musician, right?
Yeah. So I mean, when we were talking with Maddie, she just had gotten off the road with Harry Styles, which is crazy to hear about her stories. And when you're like playing so much, you're gone from your house for so long, you kind of live like two different lives in a way. So you get to the point where you start getting on tour and it's a little bit of an uncomfortable transition because you're traveling so much, you're not in your routine, what you're used to at home. And then you get used to it after being out for so long. And then you get home and then you're used to that sort of lifestyle, being that different person, being on the road. And then you feel like you're an alien out of place when you get home because like it's just a different world. You're around people that are just home all the time and you're like, I don't really remember what that feels like.
Yeah, you're like, what time is catering? When do I eat?
Where's the nearest Chipotle?
Right.
But it kind of, you just have to get adjusted, and I think every musician has a bit of like a way to get back into the normalcy of life after they've been gone for a bit. But that transitional period is kind of like it's a strange place mentally to be, you know. And red tape is just kind of about how maybe to not just within the musician's lifestyle or their mental space, but also with people that deal with any sort of mental health like ailment, you know, how to sort of how to combat the certain like bad feelings that you might get just with being human, you know. I think like just giving it to yourself straight and like that Midwestern sort of get it done mentality maybe kind of influences the way that I deal with my struggles with mental health. But I think like just kind of getting it done, finding the root of the problem and just sort of, you know, just, going right at it, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess, you know, touching on mental health there a little bit, how exactly do you take care of your mental health? I mean, like on the road, because that is, and that is something that is not just Midwestern, although it's easy to understand with Midwestern kind of life. I was married to a girl from Ohio, so I met her family, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, you have to be open with like your own self. Is that easy on the road? Like, how do you kind of like do that part on the road?
I think it's easy because me and my brothers are very open and emotional people. And I think like, that makes it easier for us to, if I'm feeling kind of weird, some days I'll tell them, we'll talk about it, you know, and we'll talk through it. If anyone's feeling that way, we'll all sort of have a open conversation about it in like a really, like the van is kind of like our like therapist in a way, you know. If we're feeling weird, if we're like too hungover, we did something stupid, or we're just feeling out of place, like we just kind of were able to talk about it, which is nice. I think also getting active as much as you can, if there's time. Like I do, it's like YouTube workouts. It's kind of like a simple way, but easy way, quick way to just like get a workout in wherever you're at. You don't really need any equipment. It's kind of nice. Exactly. In that way. Yeah, right. And I think we benefited because there's so many workout videos now on YouTube that it just makes it easy. And so, yeah, just kind of staying active. And I think you get lost in the rowdiness of being on the road. It's easy to, because it's fun to be playing shows. It's like, we always say, it's like I just had 3 weeks straight of Saturday nights, you know, and then you get home and it's finally Sunday, and then Monday after that, and you're like, okay, it's tough. So you kind of have to dial that back a little bit, I think, to keep your headspace in a good place. And but there's always, we're always trying to find a balance, you know. It's a struggle, but it's
I mean, just being conscious of it and this is something that didn't exist. Just the fact that people are talking about it, that's like half of the battle, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're very lucky because we're open about our emotions with each other, and that makes a huge difference for us, you know. Yeah, for sure.
Judgment now, Liz Grace, like a good friend of mine, just, you know, she had a flub with the national anthem in the past couple of days recently. And you know what, man? It's like, I love you, and I'm here. Everyone else can be, you know, but everyone has been like extending the hand. And
yeah, I just think I definitely saw like a lot. I mean, it was all over the headlines, right? And it seems people comment on the post and stuff. It's like, you can't, those aren't normal, regular people that would actually say those things to a person. Like, for her to be able to take it on the chin and be like, yeah, I messed up, you know, open and honest about how things went, and able to sort of deal with it and like head on, I think is really a good way to deal with that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about your grandpa. I want to talk to because you were talking about your playing in the basements and all that. But you know, I'm like, man, you know, that came from DNA. Your grandpa was like a real like successful musician, right?
So he was in a band called the Southern Exposure, and they started playing like around the Midwest, and they did a lot of like the sort of country circuit around Michigan and Ohio, and they played like the Hoedown, which was a big country music festival in Detroit for a few years. They opened up for some bigger names as well. It's kind of slipping my mind right now, but we grew up around him, just playing in his basement, as like the same way we did. His rehearsal space with his band.
Yeah. Is he still alive?
Yes. They actually, him and my grandmother, my Nana, just moved to Clarksville. So yeah, so they're very close now. It's amazing. And God bless Mariah Nana, because she put up with so much of the noise and stuff with his band, and then also kind of bleeding into our stuff as well. But he, you know, we grew up just kind of banging on the drums and, you know, messing up his guitars in the basement when we were little kids. Of course he did. There's a video of Jack. I'm sure we can find it somewhere in the ether, but he's sitting on this little stool with a mic in the basement. He's got a bandana wrapped around his head. He's like maybe 2. And he's singing a song about my Nana working all the time, because she's always gone working, you know. So he's literally singing this song as a 2-year-old, just singing, you know. And it was kind of cool. Like they just like encouraged us to just like be weird like that, and just like to explore the music, you know. We're very lucky. I always say the universe like kind of gave us, like, teed up this like perfect storm, you know, this perfect shot with me and my brothers, because we grew up so close to each other, and we had such a great musical upbringing through our grandparents, that like, if, you know, all we had to do was just kind of reach out to try and make it happen. And you know, we're very lucky that we had that sort of, you know, culmination of so many different things. But he definitely kind of started everything for us, you know. Yeah. And he's still, I mean, he's got his own, like, he just moved down here. He just got a music room. He's setting up in his house, and a bunch of different old guitars that he's had over the years. And it's like a project we're going to be working on together, just to like set up everything there's like a perfect like writing space, you know, to get, yeah, it's awesome.
Easy. It's amazing to think that in the same family, you know, there's two success stories like that. I mean, that's just like, it's a miracle.
It's amazing. And then I will say Dalton's dad is also a really, Dalton is our drummer.
Sure.
He's our best friend from college, but he looks like us, so we say he's our brother. And he pretty much is our brother. But his dad is a successful songwriter from Michigan, but has, you know, been to Nashville, like come back and forth to Nashville and in Texas. He's got a bunch of friends here and in Austin, around like the Austin area. But he definitely, like, Dalton grew up around that too, you know, someone that kind of made it happen. And yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just, it's, you know, it all kind of worked out perfectly for all of us.
Ask you about that, because you guys are about as Michigan as the Detroit Lions. You know, you're as Michigan as Little Caesars, man. You are Michigan. You're Michigan through and through. And I know there's a lot of pride in that. There's a lot of pride in that. And the region loves you. You love them back. So I know when you moved to Nashville, it was a little harder of a decision.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It definitely was. Like, so when we graduated from college, we went to a small music school in Detroit. That's where we met Dalton. And right when we graduated, we kind of like flipped a coin. We're like, are we ready to go to Nashville, or should we move just out of Detroit just to sort of build a different market? And we flipped a coin, and it was either between Nashville or Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we moved, the coin landed on Grand Rapids. We moved over to Grand Rapids. And over like the next 3 years, got very comfortable, felt really good about the market. Like, we were selling a bunch of tickets and making fans and just kind of like really doing a great job there. And we felt like, okay, it's time for us to get going. And then like we realized like we were never ready for Nashville before we decided to actually move, you know. And when we did, we moved down here, and it was like the perfect time for us to do it, you know. It was a hard transition, obviously. I feel like for everyone that moves here from a different place, it's a different place, a different city than any other city that I've been to. But it kind of proved to us that, like, even if we were to try to move here, maybe not even go to school, move to Nashville when we were 18, or move to Nashville when we were 22, like, we were not ready as a band, as artists, as like adults, really, to like be here. But it was a perfect timing for us. Like, we had really worked on our chops together, knew how to put on a great show, and that kind of transformed the trajectory of our band, because we were ready finally to move here, to like take on what opportunities we potentially could get. We were ready for those, you know, those moments. I feel like yeah, for sure. It's been really nice to us, you know, so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been great for your career. We're glad you're here. I think you're going to play a song for us, but before you do, Brady, let me ask you about Dandelion, the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, look at you. I mean, Mr. Hollywood. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, how did it come through? It looks like a great movie. I haven't had a chance to see it, but
yeah, it's an amazing movie. I love it. I love the movie. I love the director, Nicole, who just like absolutely she's an artist through and through. But so this is kind of goes back to what I was saying about Nashville. Like, if people aren't ready to come here, maybe like they have a harder time potentially. But we played the first showcase we ever played in Nashville right when we moved here. We moved in December, and then we played a showcase in April of 2022. And it was at the Basement, and we had just a 45-minute showcase that one of our friends, promoter friends, just like threw us on. He was like, we'll get you guys in, and we'll try to get people to come and see it. And Nicole, the director, was there for New Faces Night, which was the slot after us. She came early, and she had been looking for a band for this movie for 6 months. Right. And she showed up early, and we had no idea. And we just played this set, and like in the middle of the set, Jack's amp broke. So we had to take one of the backline amps that they have. Thank God they had something there. He switched it out, but I told the story about the first time we came to Nashville when I was 20, maybe 19. We got all of our gear stolen out of this old van that we were driving. Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, but she heard that story, and she heard a lot of the songs, and she had this bar receipt, and she wrote down all the stories and the songs that were compelling to her on this bar receipt. She still has it. And then she came up to us after the set, and she said, I've been looking for you. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm a director, and I'm making a movie. I'm like, okay, sure, yeah. Of course. Yeah. What is it? I don't, of course. Oh, yeah. You got a movie coming out, whatever. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But 2 weeks later, she sends us the script and she wrote us into the script for this movie. Yeah. So it's just an absolute, like, one of those things that just kind of gets like thrown into your life. And it's hard to like even think about like what perfect scenarios kind of led up to that, right?
Destiny, man. I mean, a bunch of the stuff you've told me today, I think I'm getting chills just listening to your story.
It's crazy, right? So we're very lucky. And Nicole is like, she is one of our like angels within the industry because she's given us such a chance to, we're terrible actors. I'm a terrible actor. Like, I know, but like, so we get to set and we're making this movie and she's just so encouraging and we're so uncomfortable, like being on camera and having to remember lines. It's such a strange thing. And then we're around other people. The two leads are like Thomas Doherty, who's been in The New Gossip Girl. He's in The Invitation. He's in massive movies and massive TV shows. Kiki Lane is in like 4 different blockbuster movies, right? She's a huge star and they're so good at acting and we're just around these people. And I'm just like, can't even remember if sorry if this is bad to swear, but like 3 different lines for one scene, but Nicole's encouraging. Grace is another actress on the movie. She's so encouraging, became like one of our really good friends. And it just came together perfectly. And then, movies cut, we see the cast screening. 2 months later, we get word that it's going out to 500 different theaters in America. We did, it's an independent film, so you don't really know exactly what's going to happen. And yeah, so here we are, 500 different theaters and it's out already. It came out on July 12th. Exactly. So, yeah. So, yep. It'll be. I can't.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Just keep an eye on Dandelion. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and we get to play ourselves. I get to play Brady, and yeah, exactly. Like all the lines are things that we got to hang out and tell her our story, and all the lines were things that she heard us say, and the stories that we were able to tell her, she kind of just wove into the script.
Yeah.
Easy for us to just play ourselves.
Love it.
So, I had like a training wheels for an actor. And then Brother Elsey is the band in the movie too. So there's a lot of really great like promotion for us as a band. Which is
fantastic, dude. Amazing.
So, yeah, Dandelion, it's out everywhere.
Fantastic, Brady. Well, Brady, you've said it all for today, man. I think we're buying all the Brother Elsey stock now that it's cheap. It's like buying Netflix in like 98. I'm cashing in, man, because you guys are going places and you guys are good people and great musicians. So let's rock and roll. Let's boogie.
Dude, thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Thank you, man. If you want to take us over with a song, we'd be honored.
Let's do it. This song is called Red Tape.
Crash from my car and cut my teeth, go too far, kill my peace. I wanna break me out from what I see, shut my eyes, don't wanna fall too deep. If I'm not awake. I'll take it. Tell me that I really don't want it. Tell me that it's gonna get away. I'm in love with the red tape. I don't wanna keep it like a secret. I put it in front of my face. I'm in love with the red tape. You can give it to me straight. Give it to me straight. I wanna hide it all and bite my tongue, holding on to everything I can to break my fall. Call my nerve to help me out. If you know me, it's the only thing that never let me down. I'm not straight. Give it to me straight. I wanna crash my car and cut my teeth.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, man. My chills have chills. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here for the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from J-Rod Concert Media.